Welcome to our reception of our members exhibitions. This is our second time, so we're gonna keep going every few months. We're gonna have our new member exhibitions. So hopefully you guys already have a chance to look at our members with the theme family. And family has all different layers of meanings. So to see how members expressed their understanding or their own concept of family. So hopefully you guys all have fun. So today we're going to use this 1 hour. We're gonna talk about art fundamental. But this is a very big area we can talk about. Depends on what medium, how deep we want to go. But if you think that you are beginners, you might want to look into our member only 2 programs. They both 12 weeks is in almost like an entire semester's program. And start week to week from week to week to week to week. Each week we're going really in depth in one area of the drawing fundamental. The other class is called Watercolor Fundamental. So it would take 12 weeks to cover all the foundation of drawing and the foundations of watercolor. Most issues that we are dealing with in every painting, they are not in the painting medium. Actually, you can solve this problem in the drawing. Like say how you're going to arrange the shape, how you're going to see the dark color, light color, and all those issues, the design, the connections, and compositions, and all those ideas, how to use line, how to use shapes, and all those things. If you can draw, you very much can paint. Just learn the medium a little bit, but the logic is just the same behind, right? So today we're gonna try to cover. Okay, by the way, someone just asked if I want to take that 2 full semester classes, do I have to be a member? Yeah. You have to be a member because that is offered only for members, and this is why the price is low. And then that's for the purpose of helping members to reach to their artistic goal. So all the program we created is targeted to the benefit for our members. Okay, so if you're not a member yet, I hope that you would come in to learn with us. Every Friday we have 2 painting sections. We're gonna happy painting together, and we're gonna enjoy the slow pace and fun drawing and painting. Okay, all right, today we're gonna try to cover all the fundamental, the very basic things, but you feel free to ask questions. Any questions you ask, and I will answer in a few seconds. Okay. So let's talk about in 2 areas. So one is drawing, and I'm gonna cover all the very basic area, but feel free to put in to your own thought and let me know. Okay, let's talk about drawing. Most of the time we're doing with drawing, there is 2 different mediums, and most of the time we say drawing is pencil, right? We always talk about pencil. But pencil is not just the pencil that you have in mind. It can be other pencils. And for example, we have graphite pencil. Like, I'm gonna show my table. Okay. This is the graphite pencil. Inside of the pencil is a form. This is the pencil, right? You can see that. So this is the form, is the pencil. But inside of this pencil is the graphite. This is why this also called graphite pencil. And graphite pencil have a range of hard to soft, and also from light to dark. And I'm going to show you that it's a whole set that I really like to use. Right, this is the whole set from Artisa, 33 drawing set. So I'm going to show you the whole range of pencil, different softness, like a 2 different layer over here. And this is from 4H. Hi. Oh, this is wonderful. Someone just asked, how do you sharpen your pencil? I already have a video on that, but however, I can do a quick demonstration to show you right now. The graphite pencil would be okay to sharpen it with the pencil sharpener, but some soft pencil or charcoal pencil especially, and the charcoal pencil, we're going to talk about that right after. It would be if you use the sharpener to sharpen it, and I'm not sure about you, but every time I sharpen it with charcoal pencil, it's always broken. So I already developed a habit that I always sharpen with knife. That is the actually start when I was very young, a little boy. I already use a knife to sharpen them, but the knife has to be very sharp. Okay, you cannot use a knife that is very dull and try to sharpen it, and it would make it break really easily. So I'm going to tell you the basics of sharpening. So I'm going to sharpen something easy to break. How about that? I'm going to sharpen that, how about the charcoal pencil? Take a look at this one. It's already broken. So first, the knife I'm using is a utility knife. So you can extend it. You can come back a little bit. Okay. This knife is very sharp, but there is some safety guideline, and you can sharpen it that, you know, not get yourself hurt. And there's a 2-step. You first sharpen until the wood, right? First, but you don't use your hand sliding it like this, because it's not that much control over here. We use the whole arm. And when you're doing that, it's easily to sharpen, like cutting the things is not really exactly you want. So there's the first step. You use the thumb, this thumb, to control the motion. Okay, I'm going to get a little close up so you can see here. Right now, you want to push this. Use this thumb to push it. So I'm not using this side, using this thumb. Right, I'm not going to use the arm to move. So let me show you. I'm going to have it like really relaxed and just use the thumb. Push it. You see that? Pushing it down. Try it. So you don't want to cut too much, but you don't want to cut too little, right? So just going one round, and you can finish sharpening the wood. Again, the knife need to be sharp enough. Okay, if it's not sharp, it would give too much force to the pencil, and the pencil would easier to break. Okay, now it's almost there, right? Here you go. Now just going one round, and it can come back a little bit, like that. And the second part of this process, then you're going to slightly hold it to the table, but don't press it too much. Try to not let it press it too much to the table. So it just gently just sharpen a little bit. Now this time you use this hand, giving the motion. If you want to be even sharper, and then you can also use a sandpaper. Right, you just slide it on the sandpaper. And if you want it to be sharper, and you know what to do. And you probably need to sharpen even a little more of the wood, and then you can gently, carefully, and go through this two-step, and you can sharpen every pencils, that including graphite pencil or the charcoal pencil. Okay, and we're going to talk about how to use the graphite pencil and the charcoal pencil a little bit. We're going to do a simple demonstration. So the same thing that you would do with the graphite pencil, right? It's very much the same thing. So the same thing, but the graphite is just a little bit easier because it's a little bit stronger. It's not really that easy to break, and you go through that. I would like to sharpen it a little bit tippy, a little bit longer, right? So you can see the way you're drawing, where you're touching the paper, it's a little easier. Okay, that's good. Right, that's just done. And as you see here, okay, cannot focus really quickly. And then I'm gonna just use the knife to do a little bit. In our community, I know a lot of you are already members, so I can tell you that as my plan in the 2021, we're going to introduce a new activities, which is this kind of demonstration on portrait paintings. It's going to be have a lot more member their demonstrations over the YouTube live. So I'll probably do it 1 or 2 times in the morning, 1 or 2 times in the evening each week. So we're gonna have a lot more fun. We're gonna complete the whole, complete all the different needs for different level of members. Some members are a little bit in the fundamental, a little bit basic beginner level. Some members are already in advanced. So we're gonna have lots of fun. If you have any questions, suggestions, please let me know. I'm always listening. Okay, about this sandpaper, and if you think it's too dirty, okay, you can just slide it, and there is a brand new layer. And if you after you finish all this, if you have your own sandpaper, you can cut it in the same size, and you can staple it, and then you can use your own. You can have your own sandpaper for pencils. Okay, this is hopefully this is answer your questions about how to sharpen my pencils. The next thing is about blender. Okay, blender is very commonly used when we're doing drawings. A blender has different sizes, right? And also in this set has 3 different sizes of blender. And blender is for the mean of you're blending the marks. You make a softer transition. Or sometimes you use the blender to draw so that it can draw a lighter mark than the pencil will give you. So I'm going to use a paper over here. Here you go. So this is our recent class study with some charcoal and talk about composition, right? This simple how to observe from line drawing, how to draw hair, okay. And that is our recent children portrait class. We'll talk about how to draw line, composition, and this is our latest children's portrait class, level 2. And so we go through all the study, and let's take a look at blending, right? If you're doing the blending, a I already have a little charcoal over here. So what I'm doing, I can draw with the blender. Like say I'm gonna start a drawing over here, and I'm gonna just draw really lightly. So you see that you can draw something a little bit lighter. So if you want to control how much this is pencil powder or this is charcoal powder on it, you can use the paper towel and wipe it off, and it's going to be only left enough for you to go on, right? So there's also another questions you may ask is after the blender get dirty, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to sharpen this. This is my suggestions. You don't have to sharpen it, you just clean it, okay? Just like treat it as a brush. Now it's just pretty clean, so you can draw really light, and you can blend. I can blend the wood and make it a little bit softer. This is a blending. Blender is not just used. This is only paper. It's a rolled paper, right? So you don't have to use this blender to do blending. Most of the time, I actually use my finger to blend it. See this? You can do the same thing. Gonna a little bit closer. Okay, you can blend it. You can blend it. And also, as a matter of fact, I really like my fingers texture, my skin texture, and actually I create the blending that I like a little bit more than just the paper blender. Also, you can use any other material for blending. You can use the tissues, and this tissue is very soft, and they created a very soft blending. But however, some other material you can also use for blending, like for example, the paper towel. If you want to use the paper towel, different paper towel also create different texture of blending. So if you are using this paper towel, it's pretty rough, right? Have lots of texture. So when I blending this, it will have a little bit rougher, okay, a little bit rough texture than the tissues. So you can be really creative. You can use you use all different texture. You can use the cloth, a piece of cloth to blend. You can roll the newspaper and blend it. And what kind of texture you want to have? Sometimes you want to blend. You have some line to go with this, a little scratches to go with it. All those consider can be your creative ideas, creative process. Okay, that's for blending. If you have any questions more, and let me know what is else. It's like this kind of video. This video is not it's not actually for public because I haven't recorded. I record this video only for the participating members. Those are member events, and that in the video is about 3-hour video. Is we did not actually delete anything from the video, and they're including our member conversation, the conversation during the class, and something even private. So all those videos only share with the members who participated, registered during the class. We have the conversation, right? So that is not even. Down the road, we probably share with other members in the community, but definitely not going to be open to any YouTube because that is not really good. I might in the future, I might edit it down to 30 minutes, and then only the part that without any private conversation, those would be sharing. But if you really like drawing paintings, please come to join us. And those videos, class video, I'm not sure when or whether or not we are going to share within the community because I have to spend the time to edit them and then before we can share with other members. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. Most video that you're seeing on YouTube, if they become popular, they're going to stay on YouTube. But later, some of the video we're also going to remove from the YouTube public. But inside of our Enjoying Art community, we have a learning center. We have all the full videos permanently stay there, and also organized by different libraries. So, and we also have a reference images website. So all the images that I used in the past, most of them, if we still have the images, we will have them stored in the reference website. So if you're already a member, some members say, hey, I don't know how to use so many benefits. I don't know how to use them. In that case, talk to other members, especially some members been here for 3 years, 4 years. They know exactly, very in-depth, every little area, how you're going to use them, how you can take the advantage of everything as a community to offer. Okay, or you can contact me. Very easy on the dashboard. Just click on email to Yong, and then you can ask me any question. We can have a face-to-face online to go through any of your questions. Okay, is that answer your questions? Okay, what's the next thing we're gonna talk about? We want to talk about eraser. How about that? Eraser is a very let's come back here. How we're gonna erasing? Here there's a 2 eraser, but it's very common. One is the rubber eraser. It's a plastic eraser, this one. Okay. And also, it's very commonly used, and some people use the pink eraser. And this eraser, you can use it, you can erase it, right? Yes, we know that we can make the erasing. But if you erase, like with this pink eraser, let me get a little bit close up. You can see that I have create lots of dust myself. So try to avoid this. I actually use, most of the time, I would use the nitty eraser. Okay, nitty eraser looked like this when it came, right? Like a little square, like a little brick. And after you unwrapped the plastic, and then you're going to stretch it, it will look like this. And you keep stretching it because it's also called knitted eraser. So keep stretching this. Okay, now this is good. I'm going to let go those, probably keep it over here so you can do the comparison. Now I'm going to do a little erasing over here. So I'm going to erase a line, create a line over here. See that? I can use this erasing. And if I want to make it more clean, you can do it a few more times. It will become erase, light up the area. Okay. But like a magic, this has no dust. This has lots of dust. So that's why it's more welcome by artists by using the nitty eraser. And you can erase for charcoal, and you can erase for graphite pencil. The same way. This is graphite pencil, and I can erase it, and then you can mold it in a different shape, different form. So then when you erase it, you can create, like over here, I'm going to make the whole area to be lighter. In that case, you make it a little bit bigger. You put it down like this, right? The whole side. Here you go. Now you can erase a bigger area. And when you go into the very little details, like what we just did last night in our member enjoying art together. And let me show you, like over here. This is our drawing. Angela missed it last night. So this are all the snow effect that we created by using the nitty eraser. I'm gonna create a little bit more. Like take a look over here. I'm gonna have this snow a little bit bigger. You see that? It's so easy. It's just create the light area. This is graphite pencil drawing. I'm gonna have a little bit over here. I'm here a little bit like this. and there's no dust. It's very easy, very clean to use, this nitty eraser. So I rarely use the rubber eraser, but I will use the nitty eraser all the time for both graphite pencil and charcoal pencil drawing. And speaking of charcoal, let's spend a little time on charcoal. Charcoal, let's put it this way. Okay, I'm gonna put this away over here. By the way, I'm gonna put this the link to this beautiful set of drawing tools in the video descriptions after, and then you can take a look at it, and if this is what you would like to have as a one organized set. Here you go. So charcoal, the process, I think most of the people are afraid of charcoal. I'm not sure that's true. Put your comments in, let me see it. And so whether or not is that afraid of charcoal, or maybe charcoal to you it seems like a mystery. Charcoal don't have so many different hardness, softness, right? Charcoal usually have like hard, soft, medium, extra soft. There's only 4, and this is extra soft, and I also have this medium, and this hard, and I also have some multiple one. This is a medium. Okay, put it right here. So also different brand, different weight, and this is just like the regular pencil, but the inside it is the charcoal, compressed charcoal basically, and some I have paper wrap around. So what you need to do is just drag it down over here, and then you can uncover the space, and then when you go through it, and then you can use a knife to sharpen this. So you skip the first part, and you don't have to sharpen the wood, right? So that's good. So this is the first part. And you also see that this one is soft. It's right there over here, soft. So soft pencil, charcoal pencil. Charcoal pencil also have white charcoal pencil. You don't use white charcoal pencil unless it's a tone paper. If the tone paper it came with a certain color, could be a little light orange color, light brown color, a little bit gray color. If you have the color paper over here, you can use the eraser to make the area lighter, right? Because that is the paper color. In that case, you would use the charcoal to draw darker area, darker than the tone paper. And then for the lighter area, and you have to use the white charcoal to finish, make it lighter, the area. So that's the white charcoal, how it used. In some cases, you have to use the white charcoal. My practice is you have to clean the area make sure it has no black charcoal before you apply the white charcoal. In that case, the area will look much more cleaner, crispy. Okay. Any questions on that? And of course, I really like this. It actually came with some of their charcoal stick, right? And then you can just slide it in here, push it in, and then you can carry it with you, go outdoor, do any sketches. And then if you want to store it inside, just push it in, or the inside over here. So this is really cool. A lot of different tools. You make sure that you're getting what you need to create your artwork. Okay, talk about charcoal, the drawing process. A lot of people I mentioned that afraid of using charcoal because the charcoal is so much dirty and getting everywhere. And I also have a wine charcoal, and basically, I want to show you a little tricks. So not to have too dirty. Lots of people ask the same questions. How are you going to protect it and from smudges? If you don't have too much powder left over on the paper, then you don't need to worry about the smudges, right? So first I'm going to withdraw, and if I'm going to draw something over here, for example, I'm going to look at an eye, and for say, so I'm going to use the wine charcoal, just do the preliminary drawing, a little study. But you know, the wine charcoal is not going to stay really well. Do a little eyelet over here, and it's the corner over here, you have a little triangle, and now the iris. Now just study and put something in here. Here you go. Leave the light color for the highlight. Also in the center have iris, have the pupil. So this area have a little bit darker, have shadow over here. So you just draw and freely with the wine charcoal. But however, this is not the final of your drawing. So now if you want to eliminate too much of those, loose charcoal on the paper, what you can do is first, I would use my hand or use the blender or the paper towel. I'm going to push those charcoal into the paper, right? You're going to get into the paper. If something is not getting into the paper, you're going to let it go. So that's one way to eliminate the loose charcoal on the paper. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit closer. Here you go. Put it a little bit lower over here. So what you're going to do here, I'm going to use the paper towel. If anything that is not staying, they should be wiped off. And you may be thinking about, oh, you're still wasting. Okay, so it's not. This is the proper process. Now that's good, like a ghost image. Now I'm going to use my nitty eraser. Come back over here. I'm going to start lifting. It's very similar to watercolor technique, right? We're going to lift up the light area. Here you go. You just imagine. You can look at your own eyes when you draw this. But anyway, this is not my own eye. This is probably my own eye when I was younger. Okay, like that. And I'm going to have a little highlight over here. You see how easy you can get the things back. Now, like when you smudges, there's nothing smudge. Like my clean hand. There's nothing over here, right? So after this, and you would start working with the compressed charcoal. We're going to use the charcoal pencil. So I'm going to use the medium. So I'm going to add. You don't want to brush it like I have too much powder unless you need it. Okay, coming over here like that. Start adding the line, the information back, but this time it would be staying on the paper. Okay, like that. I'm gonna have the pupil right in the middle over here. Okay, now I'm gonna have the texture inside the eye over here. Here you go. And over here. And I have a little reflected light at the bottom. So now I'm gonna create a little darker circle in the inside. Okay, and the side over here a little bit darker, like that. Just pay attention to that. See the value change. Okay, And the edge over here have a little reflected light because the light coming from this side and hit the wall of the lower eyelid and bounce the color back in here. Here you go. Now I'm gonna take a look on this side, continue having, I'm gonna, for the thicker mark, you want to open it a little bit and draw the line over here in the inside the corner. Right, and then catch the shadow inside the eye. Okay. If you really want to learn all the fundamental stuff, I really suggest you to come in for the fundamental classes. It starts next week, and the following in next Tuesday we're gonna studying the drawing fundamental, and on Thursday we're gonna do the watercolor fundamental. So hopefully we're going to work through it and gonna have lots of fun, in-depth understanding about everything about the foundation. Okay, like that. And it has a little shadow on this side as well. The eyeball is rounded, and so gradually you can make something look very realistic. And this side is the shadow. You can see the whole lower eyelid. It also rounded, right? It's drawing an eye is very tricky. You have to understand the form and how to represent the form of that. So, and here I'm going to use a little bit harder another medium. If you want a sharper line, you want to use the harder charcoal pencil, like that, and so on. So if you think about, so how I'm going to avoid it to lose the charcoal pencil, it's easy. It's actually can holding on the paper is easier, better than other charcoal, because it makes that way. And the natural wine charcoal or willow charcoal is very easy to lose it. So now I'm going to come in over here, do a little blending. That when I'm doing blending, it's not just soften the transition. Yes. Oh, that's a very good question. The question is, why, if you don't really keep the wine charcoal, why do you start with the wine charcoal? Well, that is a $1,000 question. It's very good. In our painting and drawing process, it's not about using the medium and the charcoal and the tools. And actually, we gradually develop our picture in our mind, right? So we are doing that with our mind. Is not much about, okay, how I'm going to draw it, how it look. It's about your mind keep changing and need to form a little bit stronger emotion, stronger picture in your mind, basically. That what you see with the eye of your mind. And then at the beginning, you have a general ideas. Let me have this. You have a general ideas about how you want to do, what kind of picture you want to have. But however, you're not quite sure. So you play through the whole process. So in that case, you might want to let yourself to evolve from one idea, a rough idea, to become stronger and stronger and pushing over. So with the wine charcoal, it actually helps you to express and testing. And for example, the composition. Where I'm going to place the eye, where I'm going to place the shoulder, where I'm going to place this, and how I'm going to use the background. You use the wine charcoal to play out all the scenario, the ideas. And also at the same time, you create the foundation like a ghost image at the beginning before you getting some materials that is harder to change, like the charcoal pencil. Is that answer your question? You want to create a process that actually help you to express a little bit better. Just thinking about that, we're not to draw with this. What we are drawing, how we're going to draw, how we're going to change it, is actually in here. Okay. So hopefully that helps you to see the process and the reason that we are doing the playing time, which is use the wine charcoal or the wheel charcoal would be better, and so on. So now you can see that the drawing getting better and better, and then it's not easy to lose the charcoal, and then you don't really need to spray it. There's many members actually ask the same questions. How are you going to store it? How are you going to keep it from losing it? Well, if you can, frame it. Make it behind the glass. And that would be the best way to protect your artwork. But when you spray it, if you want to know how to spray it, I have a video and talk about that on YouTube. You can search on how to spray and protect the drawing, and you can find that video. All right, now you see. Now I finished drawing the eye. Okay, if you have other questions, let me know. And next, let's talk about the paper. This is a drawing paper. They put a good surface, and the surface is very good. Have enough tool on it, and very heavy stock. And so I use this to draw a lot of time. And also you can draw on every other surface if you want. A lot of people, they use sketchbook paper. The sketch paper just a little bit thinner. Also the surface not as ideal as the drawing paper. If you for charcoal drawing, you might also look into some charcoal paper, and it would say charcoal right on the surface over here. So different charcoal paper, you can try it. Different, some have linen texture, some have some other random texture. You can try different texture to see what is work best for you. And also some multimedia paper, and even you can draw with watercolor paper if you want some really rough texture like cold press paper, right? So of course, there's a lot of art paper, lots of handmade paper. You can try to see what can bring the best of you, the best of your idea, creativities into your artwork. Okay, we're going to use the remaining time. I'm going to talk about watercolor. I'm sure that many people here want to learn about some foundation stuff about watercolor. Let's first talk about the watercolor paper. And this is a kind of paper I'm sure that lots of artists prefer to use. This is artist watercolor paper. It's a block, right? And lots of our members actually use this one. It's common. So it already glued together all around. Now you see the dark black, and only leave like a 1 inch, 1.5 inch right in the top over here. After you finish it, you would use a knife or use something. This came with Paul Rubin paper, and you can slide it only into the first, between the first sheet and the sheet under, and then push it in and slide through, and then you can get the top sheet detached from the board, this block. But the block usually costs a lot more money than the regular, even the same paper with the pad. Actually, this one came with as a pad. It's the same brand. This probably this exact same paper. So after I received this, what I did is I used a different kind of medium actually for acrylic painting. And actually, I used the tape cover this part. It's the same like a about 1 inch, cover it, and then I actually apply the medium all around. Now it became a block. You see that? It's all together. So I don't have to take it out and tape it to the paper and before I paint. I just paint it like this. I paint like this, and then after you finish, after you dry overnight, and then I slide it through. The same way I would treat it as a block. So I do have a video on this. Just search on YouTube, say Yong Chen, and then say pad to block, and you should find that video. It's a very detailed video, and hopefully this is gonna help you to save $10 for each pad turned into the block. Okay, because it actually at least $10 difference between these two, and probably even more. So this is paper. Some for exercise, you probably want to look into other brand of paper, like this one. It came from Magic Fly, and it's just it put an okay paper for exercise. And this from Artisa. This paper is not a bad paper or cheap paper. It's just almost very much similar to the quality as the Arches paper. So, but every paper, they're always a little bit somehow slightly different. So you have to get used to the different type of paper. When you first time change to use different paper, you're always feeling some frustration because it's not what you get used to, okay? So this one also came with as a pad, and I also turned it into a block. So I can just paint like this. Lots of time in my video demonstration that I use this paper. Okay. Actually, right now is I use this two paper most often. Okay. Okay. There's also this this paper. The quality is a little bit less and also more economic. It's much cheaper. So you want to do some exercise. Like last time I did a video about how to use different timing, different water amount for the salt effect. I use this salt here. Just only table salt. And also use the sea salt with the rocky salt. So this is my demonstration and last time. And this is my exercise, testing a different effect. So this is paper. I also put the link in my video description after this live. And so that you can take a look at, do a little bit comparisons, maybe something that you might want to use it as exercise. Okay, let me talk about something really basic about watercolor. First thing, talk about the brushes. I have all different kind of brushes in my past. I already tried different brushes, and some are good for certain purpose, some are not good for what you want, and I have a lot of watercolor brushes. So I only have a few small ones over here. So this is the sable brush as a natural hair, and this brush is okay for smaller shapes, right? I also have something like 12 inches, a little bigger brushes. So I also have some flat brush, which is mostly a nylon. Most very common flat brush. So this I also talk about using water. I have like a 2 bottle of water over here. I actually have 3, so that in case I need another one, a little cleaner, so I don't have to run to my bathroom to get it, to refill another one. So I'm gonna have it both on the side, and you can take a look at like this is a pretty good brush. And when it dry, it always kind of like fuzzy and open. So when you put in the water, I'm gonna put the water right in here so you can see a little bit better. Okay. Now you'll use your 2 fingers. You can massage it and you can get a better tip. You see that? But however, you take a look at this brush. Doesn't matter how hard you try it, you squeeze it, okay. You can't get a fine tips. Most brush won't offer you a fine tips. So some brush have less hair. Like take a look at this brush. This brush is actually coming from Paul Rubin brand, and because less brush and maybe a little bit sharper. But it came with another problem. You can't contain much much paint in here. If you use lots of paint, you can't. Basically, the brush can't contain lots of paint. So when you paint a little bit, and that's it, you have to go back to refill other paints. Okay, so I'm going to use my suggested for all my students using the watercolor palettes. And the paints that I'm using is only 3 colors. I'm going to get this is my mixing area. Very simple. And I also have this color container. Only 3 of them, 3 colors that I use. Oh, so I'm gonna take the color, right, and I remain the sharp tip. Okay, that's good. Now I'm gonna start drawing and painting. Very soon it runs out of paint. You see that now become nothing. So what you're gonna do? You have to come back over here, remix the color, and go again. So we don't have a lot of time. We have only another 8 minutes for this section. So let me introduce what we are using in the community, and only 2 brushes, 2 brush set. Okay, this one is the calligraphy brush, and I'm gonna have one already open. I want to show you. I'll take a look over here. You see, compare this brush and the brush I just showed you. Try to get a good tip, and there's a huge difference on the amount of hair. And also this one has a very, very sharp tip as well. It's very sharp. So let me show you. So I'm going to take the color over here, right, like this. And now I'm going to start rendering. So I'm going to make some really fine line. You see that very fine line that you can do. A lot of painting require us to use fine line. Especially next week, we're going to paint the tree. It's going to have lots of fine line. You see, I'm going to keep going and going and going. And then move it around, and you can continue, right? You don't have to stop. Yeah. Oh, that's something else actually I have on my list I want to talk about. Let me clean the brush here. Let me show you the other brush. I'm going to come back to answer these questions about, is that your table is tilted, the paper is tilted, and why, right? And the other brush I'm using in the whole set, that is just the flat brush. So this brush can contain also a lot more water, and also very easy to lift up the paints. So if you look at any of my videos, I only use the 2 brushes, and also you can how to use them effectively, and what is the process making it. This is very important. So take a look at the video. If you have other questions, please let me know. Let me answer their questions about how you set up your table. Okay, I put the paper usually not on the top of my table. I put it on the side, right over here. Now the table I set up is about tilted in about this kind of angle. Okay, I can show you. Actually, I make I'm making this. It's so easy to set up my. You see, like that. I have something over here to like a 1.5 inch on this side, right? Like this. So this is as much as it tilted. This you can move it, because if the table have a different place, and if you want, I can show you how they make this. It's very easy. It's supposed to be start with for a smaller board. But however, I wanted to tilt it up a little bit more, so I add another wood over here, so it's make it even higher. So this is what I use and just put it on the table, and then I put the paper on the top, and I'll be able to just use it. And right, so you don't see it from the top, but when you see it from the side, you can see that is my table. And why you want to have it like this, it's not flat. Okay, if you use a very little water when you are painting watercolor, it doesn't really matter how you put it. Okay, but if you're going to use like the large brush, wash it, especially if you have it flat, and the water is going to stay in the middle of the paper. In that case, you have no way to run to because there's no gravity, right? Get it down. The gravity just have it stay in the same spot if it's just flat like this. So in that case, it would be less predictive. What I would want, I want to have a little angle, but I don't want to have the angle. It's about this high. Some artists like to paint it like this. You paint it like this angle after you have the first wash, taking care of all the big relationship. And you can put it up like this because after that, you're going to paint a little bit less water. In that case, you work because you're going to make adjustment, having the details of those work. That will be later on. It's okay to have it higher, right? It's got a little bit more upright position. But in the beginning, I'm making sure I have enough angle so the excess paint, it would gradually coming down this way. So you're knowing that when I paint, I start painting from the top over here and then coming down. So the paint that coming down and connect with the paint that I'm going to create it wet into wet and coming down like this. It's just a lot more predictable. Second thing is the paper can dry a little bit faster and the paint can dry a little bit faster so that it will be able to come back to the top over here and paint again for the second layer and go on. So more predictable for the purpose of that. And the other thing I also want to show it to you, and I like to have my table here not moving around, and I just get some nitty eraser. Okay, a small piece of nitty eraser. Just put it right over here. See that? A little nitty eraser. A very small piece over here. Like put it at the bottom, right over here. And a little bit right over here. Here you go. Stick it over there and put it down, and it's not going to move. This is very easy. So when you finish it, when you use your table for other purpose, and you just remove the nitty eraser, and you can put it away. And then you can keep using the nitty eraser for the drawing for other purpose. Now, if you don't have this, it will look like this. You keep moving, right? So if I have that, it will be much better. Any questions at this point? If you don't have other questions, I'm also going to talk about white paint and masking. Because a lot of time that we are going try to have reserve some of the area that remain to be white, that we usually use the masking fluid. The masking fluid you need to apply to the paper after you dry and then start painting over it. So you don't have to leave around that white spot. That is what the masking fluid for. And in this case, you might really want to do a better planning. So because after you put the masking fluid to the paper, you cannot change it, right? Well, you can change it, but it's going to be like a lot more work. So you better to have a good planning before you apply the masking fluid. And when you apply the masking fluid, you also need to make sure if you use the brush, make sure you use the soap bar to load enough soap inside the brush before you apply the masking fluid. Okay, that is watch some of my video that using masking fluids. I explained very much in details how to go through it. And the last thing is about the white paint, the grass paint. If you say, oh, I don't want to do that, I want to just going to apply the white color after. In that case, you would have questions about different kind of white. Which one should I use? This is the zinc white. This is the Chinese white. This is titanium white. And if you want to have the good opaque quality to be able to cover the paint underneath, use the titanium white. So this is what I use for the titanium white.